Replacing the old LCD screen on an AKAI S900 or S950 is not really a difficult task. There are just a few things to desolder, wires to cut, but nothing really major. Let's start with the new screen. I choose a blue LCD screen, but any 40 by 2 LCD display should work. I found mine on AliExpress for about €8, but you can find them on Amazon as well. And the only difference between the original and the new LCD is that the black bezel is a little bit taller and they may not fit in your sampler. It did fit in mine. There's a little trick to be able to mount it. Open the AKAI S900, unscrew the metal plate and unscrew the front panel. There are some screws on top and on bottom of the unit. There should be some washers under the top screws. Just pay attention to them and don't lose them into the sampler. Unscrew the old LCD, it's only 4 screws, and disconnect the ribbon cable. Then cut the wires going from connector P401 to the old backlight, see the picture. You will need to solder these 2 wires back, so make sure you keep all the length of the wires. You can also disconnect the inverter, which is P402, if you don't need it anymore and it's probably just noisy. And if you want to remove it, be prepared to unscrew a lot of screw and disconnect cable. In my case, I simply left the inverter where it was and just disconnected it. It was too much hassle. The most difficult part in my case was to desolder the angle male header from the old LCD and solder it back on the new LCD. You can avoid it if you bought an LCD with the angle header already soldered or if you have some angled male header to solder on it. I recommend getting a 90-degree male header to avoid the desolder-resolder part, which was quite tedious. You need to leave pin 15 and 16 free for the leads coming from P401, which is GND and 5 volts. Solder the wires from P401 as shown in the following picture. Just keep in mind that pin 15 and 16 are on top of the connector. White wire must be soldered to pin 15, which is on the left in the picture, and the black white goes to pin 16, as shown in the picture on the right. Then screw back the new LCD to the screen holder. In my case, the new LCD fitted nicely. I've read that sometimes the bezel is too tall to fit. In that case, you can use smaller screws and bolts to screw the LCD from the back of the screen holder. Just double check your contacts one more time and it's time to try to power this S900 on. And if everything is okay, the only things to do is just to put the front panel on and close the sampler with its big metal plate.